Welcome back to the show, and thank you for continuing to watch. Time now to peer into the future with some projections from our own Crystal Ball. How you doing, Crystal?
Hello, boys. Not so great. Not so great. Back to school time is not easy for a single mom. You know, and my kid's dad, he spends all his time at the bowling alley.
Wait, your ex is a bowler?
No, Matthew. My ex is a bowling ball.
that actually makes sense. Yeah, that's actually, when you think about it, right.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, so every time we have you on the show, Crystal, the idea here is that you're going to be able to peer into the future and predict how various players will perform every week. We're going to tell the audience at home whether we buy your predictions or not. So, Crystal Ball, look into yourself and and tell us what you think. Secret Squirrel, you've got...
I got some cards here.
You've got some cards here, so why don't you look at one, the tarot cards.
Yeah, here we go. Fantasy card. First one, T.Y. Hilton.
Double, double, toil and trouble. Is T.Y. Hilton on the fantasy bubble? I see him as a wide receiver 12, finishing with 14.1 points.
Thank you, Crystal. I don't agree with this at all. I mean, T.Y. Hilton, Daniel, on my hate list. Think about this. So last 2 seasons without Andrew Luck, averaging 11.6 fantasy points per game, basically wide receiver 44. This comes down to me just having no confidence whatsoever in Scott Tolzien. Remember, he played the first 2 games of the preseason, was targeted 3 times, 0 catches.
Yeah, there's no way that I want T.Y. Hilton. If I drafted him that high, I may have to start him if I don't have any better options. But knowing what he does with Scott Tolzien, I would not on the T.Y. Hilton bandwagon.
Well, and you also think about that Rams defense, and now with Wade Phillips calling the plays, they're going to blitz the crap out of Tolzien, who, you know, under pressure, it seems like it's going to be tough to get those long plays developed for T.Y. Hilton and take advantage of his speed. I think he's well below wide receiver 12. Sorry, Crystal, we disagree with you. All right, what do we have next here, Secret Squirrel?
Next up, Melvin Gordon.
Ooh, Melvin Gordon. Crystal?
Dark and dismal, scary fright. Should you play Melvin Gordon on Monday night? I predict running back 9 and 15.3 points.
You know what? Actually, I buy this one, Daniel.
Yep.
You think about Melvin Gordon, okay? Last year, 205 yards in 2 games against the Broncos. His Week 6 performance of 9.4 points was his lowest output of the season, but still, you know, still 9 points, and that was, you know, in standard scoring. So for me, Gordon, I think just the amount of volume he gets. Think about the Broncos last year, number 1 pass defense. They're number 1 against quarterbacks and tight ends, 16th against running backs. They're middle of the pack, and it's still a great defense. But to me, Melvin Gordon, I just don't know how you bench him.
No, and you think about the Broncos, and it's easy to be like, hey, it's a great defense, like you had just said. But don't get cute. There's no reason to overthink this. You drafted Melvin Gordon for a reason. He should be in your starting lineup.
And by the way, I think Hunter Henry could be okay here as well.
Yeah.
Like a low-end tight end number 1. All right, who's next there, Daniel?
Next up, Ted Ginn Jr.
Spirits of the future, we welcome you in. How many points for the one named Ted Ginn? He will be wide receiver 36, 11.1 points.
You know what? And I actually like Ted Ginn this week, so I'm with you, Crystal. I think even a little bit higher than wide receiver 36. So I'll take the over on that as well. But certainly a wide receiver, to me, a wide receiver 3 with some upside this week, Daniel. Consider that last year Drew Brees, the most accurate quarterback in the NFL on deep throws of at least 30 air yards. Obviously, that's what you're going to do. Xavier Rhodes probably going to spend a lot of his time on Michael Thomas, so maybe less coverage there. There's going to be concentration on Adrian Peterson. The Vikings don't want to see Adrian Peterson go off, so they're going to take some shots deep to try to loosen things up at the line of scrimmage there. I like Ted Ginn this week against Minnesota.
And you think about it, understanding that Willie Snead is not going to be there this week with the suspension. You know that Drew Brees is great down the field. I mean, if he gets one 50-yard bomb for a touchdown, I mean, there's your 11 points there.
That's all they need, playing on the turf indoors at Minnesota.
Exactly.
I like Ted Ginn. I like him not only Sunday, I like him for the season. Again, he's going to be the number 2 on a team that passes a ton.
Yep.
All right, who's next?
Next up, Amir Abdullah.
Detroit Lions running back. That's your team. You love the Lions.
Crystal.
All right, Crystal.
Fire and flame, make it appear. What do you see for Abdullah, Amir?
Yeah, no, sometimes you're forcing some of these, Crystal. I got to be honest with you.
All right, enough, boys. Anyway, running back 19, 11.7 points.
A little high for me, to be honest. Like running back 17, I don't know. That strikes me as kind of high. You know what I mean? For me. I mean, again, think about this. Probably not the goal line back. I think that's going to be Zach Zenner. And in terms of passing, that's going to be Theo Riddick. I mean, I think you'll see some Abdullah on passing downs, but Cardinals allowed the fewest fantasy points to opposing running backs last year. Their defense is brutal. You know I like Carson Palmer to have a big game here. So I think they're trailing, so I think you see more Theo Riddick. Hard for me to see Amir Abdullah as a top 20 running back this week in PPR.
It's going to be tough. I really like Amir Abdullah, and I think season long, what I saw out of him in the preseason, if he can stay healthy, he's a very concise runner. You know, hit the hole hard, but it's tough against that Cardinals defense. And like you said, when you're down, Theo Riddick is the main pass catcher in that backfield. So he'd have to get in the end zone in order to be worth it for me.
Yeah, and I just don't know that he does. All right, good job, Daniel. Thank you, Crystal. Good job with good luck with back to school. I'm going through that with my kids as well. It's always tough.
Yeah, thanks. I predict I'm going to smoke another 3 packs of cigarettes this weekend after that segment.